An ancient discovery in Israel has shed remarkable new light on the origins of early Christianity. The Megiddo mosaic, believed to be nearly 2,000 years old, offers a glimpse into a time when the earliest Christians did not worship in grand cathedrals but instead gathered in hidden, often secret spaces. In a stunning twist of history, one of these early worship sites lay buried for nearly 1,800 years, right beneath the grounds of a high-security prison. In 2005, what began as a routine expansion project at Megiddo Prison in northern Israel quickly transformed into one of the most important archaeological finds in recent memory. As crews excavated land to build a new prison wing, they stumbled upon a large, ornate mosaic floor buried under centuries of earth. This unexpected discovery prompted immediate action, construction was halted, and the Israel Antiquities Authority was called in to investigate. Led by archaeologist Dr. Yotam Teper, a team of experts carefully excavated the site. As layers of dirt and time were removed, a strikingly well-preserved mosaic was revealed. For context, a mosaic is an ancient form of art composed of tiny, colored pieces of stone, glass, or tile, known as tesserae, arranged to form images, geometric patterns, or inscriptions. Mosaics were common in the Roman world, often adorning homes, temples, and early places of worship. What made this mosaic truly remarkable were its inscriptions. Among the Greek phrases etched into the stone was one that read, "To God Jesus Christ," a reference that stunned researchers. This inscription provided compelling evidence that the site was once a house church, an informal gathering place where early Christians practiced their faith in secrecy during a time of Roman persecution. One additional inscription honored a woman named Akeptus, described as a donor. It read, "The God-loving Akeptus has offered the table to God Jesus Christ as a memorial." The mention of a table, rather than an altar, strongly hinted at communal worship and perhaps even one of the earliest known references to the Christian Eucharist. Further reinforcing its Christian origins, the mosaic included the image of a fish, an ancient symbol used by early Christians to secretly identify themselves as followers of Jesus. This, along with the inscriptions, led scholars to conclude that this was indeed one of the earliest known Christian worship spaces, preserved in remarkable condition. The discovery not only challenged historical timelines about the spread of Christianity in the region but also sparked international debate among scholars, historians, and religious experts. Many believed this finding could significantly alter our understanding of how and when Christianity began to take root in the ancient world. The situation presented a dilemma for prison authorities. Megiddo was still an active maximum security facility, and the newly uncovered mosaic was located directly beneath a planned construction zone. Warden Hannah Barag and other officials were faced with a difficult decision: continue the project as planned, or pause construction to allow full archaeological investigation. Recognizing the extraordinary religious and historical significance of the site, Israeli authorities chose preservation. The prison expansion was halted, and archaeologists were granted full access to study the mosaic. News of the discovery quickly spread, drawing attention from across the globe. The notion that such an important piece of Christian history had been hidden beneath a prison for nearly 2 millennia captivated the public and academic communities alike. Some inmates at Megiddo were even allowed, under supervision, to assist in the excavation. For many of them, the experience was deeply moving, even spiritual. This astonishing find, arguably the most significant biblical discovery since the Dead Sea Scrolls, continues to spark curiosity, debate, and admiration. It serves as a powerful reminder of the resilience of early Christian communities and the enduring mysteries still hidden beneath the earth. Certainly. Here's a rephrased and organized version of the text turned into clear, coherent paragraphs. For many inmates at Megiddo Prison, the discovery of the ancient Christian mosaic became more than just an archaeological event, it was a spiritual awakening. Some of the hardened criminals who participated in the excavation found themselves reflecting deeply on matters of faith, and many reported a newfound belief in a higher power. The experience, steeped in historical and religious significance, had a profound emotional impact on those involved. The Megiddo mosaic itself is believed to have been crafted by a highly skilled artist named Brutus. Unlike an ordinary laborer, Brutus was a trained artisan whose precision and mastery are evident in the intricate layout of the tesserae, the small pieces of colored stone and glass used to form the mosaic. His artistry shines through in the density and clarity of the patterns, especially in the three rectangular sections containing Greek inscriptions and the central circular motif depicting two fish. These artistic choices were not merely decorative, they carried deep religious meaning. In ancient religious art, what was included, or notably excluded, often reflected the beliefs of the community. The absence of human or animal figures in the Megiddo mosaic suggests reverence and caution in representing sacred themes. Dating back to the 3rd century AD, the worship hall discovered beneath Megiddo prison is now considered one of the oldest known Christian gathering places. What makes it even more remarkable is its location. The mosaic was found within the remains of a Roman military encampment. This startling context indicates that Christian worship may have been quietly taking place among Roman soldiers themselves, a revelation that contradicts the long-held assumption that all Roman military personnel were devoted solely to the empire's pagan traditions. Historical documents confirm that this site was part of a larger base that housed the Legio Sixferata, or the 6th Ironclad Legion. This elite unit was stationed in Judea after the Jewish revolt of 132 to 136 AD. The idea that a Christian place of worship existed within such a stronghold suggests that Christianity had begun to infiltrate even the ranks of Rome's formidable military forces, long before Emperor Constantine made the religion officially legal. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence supporting this theory lies in the mosaic itself. Among the inscriptions is the name Ganos, identified as a Roman centurion and one of the donors who helped fund the mosaic's creation. That a Roman officer would publicly support the construction of a Christian worship site speaks volumes about the reach and influence of early Christianity. This discovery challenges the narrative that Roman soldiers were uniformly loyal to the empire's gods and opens the door to understanding how early Christian beliefs may have quietly spread within the empire's most disciplined institution. However, not all Roman emperors were tolerant of this growing faith. Under Emperor Diocletian, who ruled from 284 to 305 AD, Christians faced one of the most brutal waves of persecution in history. Known as the Great Persecutor, Diocletian ordered churches to be destroyed, scriptures to be burned, and Christians to be executed if they refused to renounce their beliefs. If the Megiddo worship hall was still active during his reign, it's likely that it was shut down by force or abandoned out of fear. This raises the question, why was such a historically significant Christian site eventually forgotten? By the 4th century AD, the Christian community that once gathered at Megiddo seems to have vanished. One theory suggests the site may have been exposed during a wave of persecution and forcibly closed. At that time, practicing Christianity could lead to arrest, torture, or death. Another theory points to changing religious policies. After Emperor Constantine legalized Christianity in the early 4th century, Christians were free to worship openly, and smaller, hidden places of worship like the one at Megiddo may have simply been abandoned in favor of larger, official churches. A third possibility is environmental. Earthquakes, conflicts, or shifting populations might have led to the site's decline and eventual burial under layers of time. Yet perhaps the most powerful legacy of the Megiddo mosaic lies in its theological message. Unlike many ancient Christian artifacts, which hint at belief systems through symbolism or indirect references, the Megiddo mosaic features an explicit Greek inscription, "To God, Jesus Christ." This simple but profound phrase is one of the earliest known written declarations of Jesus' divinity. Its presence challenges the idea that the belief in Jesus as divine developed slowly and only became doctrine at the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD. Instead, the mosaic suggests that some early Christians, even before the faith was legal, already saw Jesus not merely as a teacher or prophet, but as divine. Let me know if you'd like this broken into shorter sections for slides, narration, or a video script. Certainly. Here's the rewritten version of your text, organized into coherent, structured paragraphs with improved flow, grammar, and clarity. The discovery of the Megiddo mosaic holds profound significance, not only because of its age or beauty, but because it predates Emperor Constantine's Edict of Milan in 313 AD, which granted Christianity legal status within the Roman Empire. This means that believers were already worshipping Jesus as God long before it was permitted. The mosaic doesn't just display a groundbreaking inscription, it also contains powerful Christian symbols that offer deep insight into early Christian worship practices. Among these symbols, the most significant is the fish, a widely recognized emblem of early Christianity. In the first few centuries of the faith, believers often used the fish symbol as a secret identifier, especially during times of persecution. The Greek word for fish, ichus, was used as an acronym for Iesus Christus Theou Sota, meaning a Jesus Christ, Son of God, Savior. If the Megiddo mosaic indeed features two fish, as many researchers believe, it aligns perfectly with the early Christian tradition of using this symbol to identify sacred gathering spaces and signal one's belief in Jesus. This same fish symbol has also been found in other early Christian locations, such as the Roman catacombs, where persecuted believers gathered to worship in secrecy. In addition to this symbol, the mosaic contains a dedication of a table to Jesus Christ, rather than an altar, further suggesting that the site served as a space for communal worship. Scholars believe this may have been a place where early Christians came together to share prayers, meals, and possibly partake in the Eucharist, strengthening their faith and unity during a time of danger and secrecy. The discovery of the Megiddo mosaic is reminiscent of another accidental yet transformative find, the Dead Sea Scrolls. In 1947, a Bedouin shepherd searching for a lost goat stumbled upon a cave near the Dead Sea. Inside, he found clay jars filled with ancient scrolls. Over the following decade, archaeologists uncovered nearly 1,000 scrolls hidden in 11 caves near Qumran. These texts, written between the 3rd century BCE and the 1st century CE, included some of the oldest known copies of the Hebrew Bible, along with legal texts, prayers, and writings from a mysterious Jewish sect known as the Essenes. The Dead Sea Scrolls revolutionized our understanding of ancient Judaism and biblical history by showing that the Old Testament had remained largely unchanged for centuries. Before their discovery, the oldest known Hebrew Bible manuscripts were only about 1,000 years old. The scrolls provided a direct link to the religious beliefs of ancient communities, just as the Megiddo mosaic does for early Christianity. Interestingly, both discoveries were made by accident. Whereas the Dead Sea Scrolls were found by a shepherd, the Megiddo mosaic was uncovered during a routine prison expansion project in 2005. Yet both finds have profoundly changed what we know about religious life in the ancient world. The mosaic has revealed critical new details about some of Christianity's earliest followers and how they practiced their faith long before it was publicly accepted. The discovery was not just a matter of luck, it was the result of expert archaeological work. One of the leading figures in the excavation was Dr. Yotam Teper of the Israel Antiquities Authority. Dr. Teper was overseeing the expansion project at Megiddo Prison when he and his team unearthed the mosaic floor hidden beneath the facility. His expertise in Roman-era settlements was vital in understanding the broader context of the find. Another crucial figure was Professor Leah D.I. Segni of the Hebrew University, an expert in ancient Greek inscriptions. When the mosaic was uncovered, her ability to translate the Greek texts was pivotal. Without her, the meaning of the inscriptions may have gone unrecognized. It was D.I. Segni who revealed the phrase "to God, Jesus Christ," a stunning declaration of faith that offered one of the earliest known written acknowledgments of Jesus as divine. Her translations also uncovered the names of donors such as Akeptus and Gaianus, providing a rare glimpse into the people who once worshipped at the site. Further historical insight came from Dr. Stephen Notley, a professor at Nyack College in New York, who specializes in early Christian worship sites. Dr. Notley helped place the Megiddo discovery in a broader historical and religious context, connecting it to other known Christian sites and supporting the idea that Christianity had taken root in the region well before it became the Roman Empire's official religion. After the mosaic was uncovered in 2005, the Israeli government faced a serious dilemma. The find had occurred within the grounds of Megiddo Prison, a high-security facility in northern Israel that housed hundreds of inmates. Officials were torn between continuing construction on the prison or halting development to preserve the archaeological site. The challenge was immense. How do you balance national infrastructure needs with the responsibility of preserving a potentially groundbreaking piece of religious and cultural history? Let me know if you'd like the continuation or prefer a version formatted for a video script, article, or educational content. Certainly. Here's a rephrased and organized version of the text, rewritten into clear and professional paragraphs. The discovery of the Megiddo mosaic presented a unique and complex challenge. On one hand, the mosaic was a priceless historical artifact, offering rare insight into one of the earliest known Christian communities. On the other hand, it was located beneath the grounds of a functioning high-security prison, an area that could not simply be shut down or relocated. Archaeologists, government officials, and preservation experts were faced with a difficult decision: should the mosaic remain in place, or should it be carefully removed and preserved elsewhere? Ultimately, the decision was made to remove the mosaic. This approach would best protect it from potential damage caused by environmental exposure and ongoing prison operations. While some historians and religious leaders advocated for turning the site into a protected heritage area, logistical and security concerns made that vision unfeasible. The removal process was conducted with great care and precision. Specialists from the Israel Antiquities Authority worked closely with conservators to ensure the fragile tesserae and inscriptions remained intact, preserving the integrity of this extraordinary piece of early Christian history. Nearly 2 decades after its discovery, in 2024, the Megiddo mosaic was unveiled at the Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C., as part of a special exhibit. The museum, known for its extensive collection of biblical artifacts and manuscripts, showcased the mosaic as a centerpiece of the exhibition, which is scheduled to run through July 2025. Visitors from around the world have since had the rare opportunity to see one of the earliest known inscriptions referring to Jesus as God, carved into stone nearly 1,800 years ago. The public response to the exhibit has been overwhelmingly positive. Historians, archaeologists, and theologians have welcomed the chance to study the artifact up close. Many visitors have described the experience as deeply moving, a powerful affirmation of Christianity's early roots in the region. For religious communities, especially Christians, the mosaic represents a tangible link to the faith's formative years, long before Emperor Constantine's conversion or the legalization of Christianity in the Roman Empire. However, the decision to display the mosaic in the United States has sparked some controversy. Critics argue that such a significant artifact should have remained in Israel, the land of its origin. Concerns have been raised about the mosaic's long-term future, specifically, whether it might be forgotten, lost to private collections, or denied a permanent home within a meaningful cultural or religious context. Many believe that the mosaic belongs in a dedicated Christian heritage site or national museum in Israel, where it could remain accessible to both scholars and the public. Despite these debates, the Museum of the Bible's exhibit has played a vital role in bringing the Megiddo mosaic to a global audience and continuing the conversation around early Christianity and biblical archaeology. Discussions are already underway regarding its permanent future. Some scholars advocate for relocating the mosaic to Israel's National Museum, alongside other iconic archaeological finds from the Holy Land. Others propose establishing a new Christian heritage site at Megiddo itself, complete with a museum or visitor center near the prison where the artifact was found. Such a site could preserve not only the mosaic but any future discoveries, transforming the area into a hub for pilgrimage, historical study, and tourism. Meanwhile, archaeological exploration at Megiddo continues. Researchers hope to uncover additional evidence of early Christian activity, perhaps more mosaics, inscriptions, worship halls, or even burial grounds. If further discoveries are made, Megiddo could emerge as one of the most important early Christian archaeological sites in the world. What are your thoughts on the Megiddo mosaic? Do you believe it should be returned to its original site in Israel? Join the discussion below. And if you found this story compelling, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more stories from the front lines of history and faith.